Hello mateys, let's review Mr. Romantic. First of all, I love the simplistic presentation. Let's talk about the juice. Imagine Dolce Gabbana the one, a little bit more aromatic. That's the vibe I get straight away. Dry down, it's a lot more warm. I must say it's on par with Mr. Fragrant. It's a 9 out of 10. Like I said, there's something warm and inviting and addictive about this perfume, and honestly I advise everyone to at least get a sample of it and try it out.
Today we are reviewing brand new 2023 men's fragrances that are released by designer brands. You guys know my gripe with designer fragrances is that nowadays they have abandoned creativity. They stay on well-known names, they use flankers of already established fragrance names and pretty much just do small tweaks on established fragrance DNAs and don't really change anything enough and don't take big risks anymore. Today we have 7 fragrances. I've worn all of them as a full wearing on my skin. We're going to discuss scent profile, performance, and when I think you should wear them. Then my final scores out of 10 for each. Some of these are extremely good and some of them are ass. Let's get into it. First of all, we have CH Carolina Herrera Pasion for him. Now, I didn't try the original Carolina Herrera from Men. I tried a clone of it, and the fragrance seems to be quite sweet and woody. Now, this one here is very different. If you look at the note breakdown, it's got more of an iris, sandalwood, or libinum, which is a frankincense note vibe going on here. So this sounds like it should be quite luxurious. For me, this is the kind of fragrances for guys who enjoy Dior Homme Intense or Givenchy Gentleman, the entire line. You like sweet, powdery, iris fragrances for men? This is the fragrance for you. Givenchy Gentleman, the entire line, I've never been impressed with it. I always say it smells like a poor man's Dior Homme Intense in my opinion. I feel like Dior Homme in general just does the iris notes better, that kind of DNA better. The original Dior Homme line, not the newer stuff. So this, to me, I kind of associated it with that kind of DNA, but this does it extremely well. This is a massive success. This smells luxurious. Beautiful combination of sandalwood and iris. It smells extremely expensive. This is a fantastic evening fragrance in my opinion. This smells balanced, rich, really seductive and sweet. This smells extremely sexy in my opinion. This is actually one of the best new releases I've smelled in a long time. This is very good for wintertime, autumn, and the spring. Wear this mainly as an evening fragrance, seductive, romantic fragrance. For you guys who like iris fragrances, this is perfect for you. Unfortunately, the performance is a little bit limited, around 6 hours. I wish that was better, but overall, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. This is a success. Next up, let's talk about Light Blue by Dolce Gabbana Summer Vibes. So Dolce Gabbana do the Light Blue line every year as a new flanker. They sort of do a slight twist on it. They've done some interesting ones in the past, such as Sun Pour On, which I thought was quite nice, but generally, it's not always that great. A lot of people liked Light Blue Forever, which was sort of like a very simplistic grapefruit scent. I like that it's very different to the original Light Blue, so I was kind of excited for this one. The bottle looks cool, has like a mosaic floral pattern on the bottle, and I thought this would be quite interesting, something very different. The note breakdown is very simplistic, it doesn't really explain anything about this fragrance, and overall it is disappointing. This smells like Light Blue Eau Intense without the character. Basically take Light Blue Intense and subtract the saltiness, the sharpness and the masculinity here. This is kind of more smoothed out, a bit more suede-like. So Alberto made a more smooth, suede version of Light Blue Intense, less character and less longevity. I get maybe 6 hours with this. Not bad, it smells pleasant, but I'm sort of disappointed, Alberto. This doesn't really add anything new. This is not creative enough in my opinion. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's a decent, mass-appealing summer freshie, but it just doesn't deviate enough from the original. By the way guys, if you're enjoying the videos on School of Scent, I've noted that only 26% of you are subscribed to the channel. So if you guys want to do me a big favor, help the channel grow and help our community grow, make sure you are subscribed. I want at least 30% of you to be subscribed to us, so please help us to get that goal. Next up, let's talk about Le Mal Elixir. This was a big, hyped up release, up and coming. Le Mal as a line in general is fire. The original Le Mal is great. It's a classic that revolutionized the fragrance industry. Ultra Mal is a sexy, sweet clubbing fragrance. Le Mal Le Parfum, fantastic modern dating scent. Then we have Le Mal Elixir, which sticks in that similar DNA of the original Le Mal, sweet, powdery lavender. It takes a sweet, powdery lavender, but makes it less complex than Le Mal Le Parfum. You can see the note breakdown. It has the honey, it has the tonka bean here and tobacco, but I don't get much of a heavy scent. Those notes suggest a heavy scent. This is more transparent, airy. This sort of smells to me like the original Le Mal had a baby with Parfum de Marly's Pegasus. Powdery, transparent, clear, vanilla, mixed in a really sexy way. I don't like Pegasus, but I love this. This is phenomenal. This is probably the best fragrance out of this entire list. They've really smashed it out of the park. It doesn't smell the same as other Le Mals. It's not redundant. It's significantly different from the original, from Le Mal Le Parfum. It's definitely a similar vibe. If you want like a romantic, nice evening scent, you can wear it all year round apart from the summertime. It's a similar kind of wearability with Le Mal Elixir. This is fantastic. I am 100% getting a full bottle. This smells simple, straightforward, linear, but it gets a bit more honeyed and a bit more heavy on the dry down. So you do get those heavy notes of like the honey. I don't get much tobacco ever in this fragrance, but you get a transparent, powdery lavender vanilla that goes a little bit honeyed. So it is beautifully balanced, super clean, super sexy, straightforward, really smells like high-end designer perfume. I think they've done a fantastic job with this. I'm personally going to give this a 10 out of 10. One of the best evening fragrances released in recent times. Well done, JPG. Tom Ford's Black Orchid EDT 2023. Now, when I saw this, I didn't really understand why this was released. I got a sample of this from my guy. He kind of just said, you know, it's out, do you want this? I said, fine, let's try it. Expecting them to maybe reformulated the fragrance, but I don't understand this at all. On the John Lewis website, they're saying this new concentration is iconic, elusive, sparkling. Exposing itself at a first moment, Black Orchid Eau de Toilette is a distinctly different encounter. Experience the seductive breakthrough in a new light with its own olfactive journey. I don't think so. This smells very similar to the original Black Orchid. I didn't try the original Eau de Toilette, so maybe that's the only thing they've reformulated, but comparing it to the Eau de Parfum, this smells very similar. Black Orchid, if you know it, it is a dark, chocolate, floral, patchouli scent with a little vanilla in here. Dark, intense, sweet. More of a women's fragrance in my opinion. It's considered unisex, but I would say it leans more feminine, but you do get some men who really love it. If you like that sweet, intense darkness in a fragrance that really shouldn't be worn outside of the cold weather, then you might love Black Orchid. It's a really unique DNA. I love the creativity of the original Black Orchid. This is kind of a redundant release. I don't really know what's going on here. I guess they kind of just wanted to make a slightly fresher take on the Black Orchid Eau de Parfum. So it is not as intense. Like the Black Orchid Eau de Parfum had the chocolate and the truffle, which isn't really here in the note breakdown. You don't really smell it. It's a slightly fresher take, but it's very similar. I'd say maybe 90% similar. I would still say for men, Black Orchid Parfum, the golden bottle is the best concentration. It has the most masculinity, the most character in my opinion. It has a really sexy rum nose in there that really adds to it. That's the concentration I still recommend. As a standalone fragrance, it's still an 8 out of 10, but as a new release, something you expect to be different, this gets a 5 out of 10. Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. When I smelled the original Infrared, I thought this was a fantastic fragrance. Only objection I might have had was the longevity. It could have been a little bit better. I got about 6 to 8 hours. For a heavy and spicy fragrance, it's a little bit weak. So Infrared Eau de Parfum, I was expecting very similar scent DNA, just a little bit heavier. But then I saw a note breakdown of 2 bad boys, 2 chili peppers in there, which made me think, you know, when I see chili pepper in fragrances, I can never really smell it. I always just think to myself, is this gonna just burn my throat? I don't understand. But it doesn't smell like something weird. It actually is an extremely sexy fragrance. So maybe the Fragrantica note breakdown isn't correct. It smells very similar to the original. Red fruits, spices, sweet cinnamon, vanilla, and really just smooth, sexy, and sweet, very modern. This smells very chic in a new modern way. Infrared is a winner of a DNA in general. This sticks to that winner of a DNA. It makes it very similar, just a bit more heavy, more sweet slightly. This is more of an evening scent only. The original Infrared could have been used in daytime. This is more evening only, and this is more cold weather, autumn, winter. Don't use it for spring like you could have used the original Infrared. So less versatility, better longevity, at least 10 hours. Fantastic longevity, fantastic sexiness here. Another winner. I do respect this. I do think you're going to get what you see on the label here. It is the Eau de Parfum, the more intense version of Spicebomb Infrared. If you like Infrared or the extreme of Spicebomb, you like the sweeter side of the Spicebomb DNA, I think this is fantastic. I think this is probably the current best Spicebomb release at the moment. It smells more interesting than the original, and it's not as weak and as reformulated as Extreme is, unfortunately. This gets a 9 out of 10. Prada Luna Rosa Ocean Eau de Parfum. I believe I reviewed the Eau de Toilette last year, and I liked the fragrance. I was just very disappointed by the weak longevity of 4 to 6 hours. It smelled sexy, musky, a little bit caramel-like, but still fresh and easy to wear as a daily scent. The Eau de Parfum, I thought maybe they still stick to that similar DNA, but finally make it a bit more intense, a bit more long lasting, but I thought they'd still stick to a fresh DNA. This is not fresh at all. This is very sweet. This is an evening scent only. I don't know why they call this entire line Ocean. The original didn't smell like an aquatic. This doesn't smell like an aquatic fragrance either, so be aware. Ocean Eau de Parfum, in my opinion, is a synthetic mess. It definitely gives off sort of like a Stronger With You, Tommy Hilfiger Impact Intense, and Parfum de Marly Latent vibe. I get sort of like a sweet cardamom, intense floral vanilla vibe from here. It's very ambery. You can see the amber extreme in the note breakdown, but I don't really see anything else in the note breakdown that actually represents this fragrance. It is sweet, spicy, and warm, very inviting, very sweet. But I think Amber Extreme is a molecule I'm seeing more frequently in fragrances, and I think it ruins fragrances because it smells nice in the opening, but smells like a synthetic mess, sort of like Ambroxan. It is one of these huge, popular synthetic molecules going around now that gives easy longevity. It sort of feels like Ambroxan. It sort of gives the perfumers a lazy way out, in my opinion. That's what it seems like. I don't know for sure, but it seems that often, like Ambroxan, this will give you a headache, this Amber Extreme. It gives a very warm, very long-lasting fragrance, very simple. If you like the latent vibes, you know, latent vibes, Tommy Hilfiger Impact Intense vibes, but not as good in my opinion, then this is the kind of fragrance you'll get. Evening scents for cold weather only. Definitely the longevity has been sorted out. You get 8 to 10 hours, but I do not recommend this. I think this is a synthetic mess, and I think you should get latent to save up for that instead. I will give this a 5 out of 10. I'm not impressed by the Ocean line in general. Although bear in mind, I do still think you can get compliments from this. And finally, we have Giorgio Armani's Acqua di Gio Parfum, the new concentration. Now, I want to start off by saying we did recent public reactions for this fragrance in Brighton, and this did very well. Acqua di Gio is still very much alive and kicking as a fragrance DNA. People do love this fragrance DNA. Acqua di Gio Parfum. Is it going to be different to Profumo? Yes. Is it going to be something completely new? No. This, to me, I've said in other videos, Acqua di Gio Parfum is a recreation and a revival of the discontinued Acqua di Gio Essenza, which was the best Acqua di Gio that's ever been created, in my opinion. This smells metallic, herbaceous, aquatic. Potent, beast mode, a long-lasting Acqua di Gio. Essenza was the old regulations of perfumery when you can get beast mode freshies, when you can just have anything on your skin and the regulators didn't care. Now this is a little bit more tamed down, but it is a very long-lasting aquatic. This is a winner, absolutely. You can tell they took a fresh and invigorating DNA that probably didn't last long as a eau de toilette or eau de parfum, so they had to really amp up the concentration and make this a parfum to make a long-lasting summer fragrance. I get 12 hours of medium projection. This will get you compliments. It is the Acqua di Gio DNA brought back into its heyday, into its best version, in my opinion. I always say this is sort of like what Blue Electric by YSL and Nuit de l'Homme did for the original. It revived the original, made it long-lasting and strong again. This is a winner, in my opinion. This gets a 9 out of 10. That concludes the video, guys. Have you tried any of these brand new 2023 releases? Have I convinced you as to buy any of these as full bottles, or at least try them in store? In my opinion, to me, the ones I would buy as full bottles are Le Mal Elixir, Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum, and the new Acqua di Gio Parfum. That is a fantastic summer freshie. It's really rare to get really long-lasting summer freshies, so I appreciate that. Really good stuff. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure to check out our other videos on brand new releases, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.